You've got that one plan, right? The one that's brilliant, it's detailed, and it is sitting on a shelf collecting dust. If you've ever felt that insane frustration of a great idea just dying, then you need to see this. Today, we're not just talking about plans. We are building the actual bridge to get them done. We're going to crack the code on execution.
So what is going on here? Why do our best, most thought-out ideas just fizzle out? And let me just say, right off the bat, it's not you. You're not lazy, and it's probably not a bad plan. The real problem is this kind of hidden gap in our thinking, a cognitive blind spot that trips up pretty much everyone, even the most ambitious people out there.
And yeah, it actually has a name, the intention-action gap. It's that frustrating space between saying I will and being able to say I did. And science tells us this isn't some personal failing, it's just a feature of how our brains are wired. But here's the awesome part. That gap, we're going to build a bridge right over it, and we're starting right now.
Okay, let's dive into the why. It all comes down to your brain, which has two completely different operating systems. You've got one for planning and a totally separate one for doing. And trying to switch between them, it's not just hard, it's like trying to run an app designed for your phone on your desktop computer. They don't speak the same language.
Think of it like this. Planning mode is your inner architect. It's dreaming big, sketching out these amazing blueprints, thinking about the future. But execution mode, well, that's the construction crew on the ground, dealing with mud and rain and real-world problems, making split-second decisions. The architect can't lay bricks, and the construction crew can't design the building. You can't just think your way into finishing a project, you have to actually do your way through it.
So the big question is, how do we bridge that gap? How do we become fluent in both of these brain languages? Well, you need the right toolkit. So I'm going to give you 3 simple but incredibly powerful tools that will help you shift from being the planner to being the doer seamlessly, starting today.
Tool number 1, build a smarter framework. Look, this is all about making the first step so mind-blowingly easy, it's almost impossible not to take it. Think of it like using a pre-made cake mix instead of measuring out the flour and sugar from scratch. By using standardized templates and breaking down your tasks into little modules, you just vaporize that decision fatigue. You're not staring at a blank page, you're just adding water.
Next up, we're going to steal a little secret from the startup world. It's called the MVP, or Minimum Viable Product. Here's the crucial point. Forget your grand, perfect vision for just a moment. Instead, ask yourself, what is the absolute smallest, simplest version of this thing that I can execute right now? Launching that tiny version builds momentum, it gives you real-world feedback, and it makes the whole process feel so much less intimidating. It's a simple loop. Plan, execute, assess, and repeat.
All right, our final tool is all about creating a mental on switch for action. So first, use if-then plans to basically put your start on autopilot. For example, if it is 9 a.m., then I will open my writing document. See? No decision needed. Second, create a little ritual for what's called cognitive closure. This can be as simple as literally closing your planning notebook to signal to your brain, okay, planning's over, time to do. And finally, design your environment for success. If you want to work out, lay out your gym clothes the night before. Remove every single ounce of friction you can find.
Okay, hold on. Quick pause. You have the tools now, but I want you to make a commitment. Right now, down in the comments, I want you to tell me the number 1 plan you're going to put into action this week. Something powerful happens when you put it out there and declare it. Let's fill up the comments with pure action.
Okay, so getting started is one thing, but how do you keep going? How do you stay consistent? Well, the secret to long-term consistency is completely counterintuitive. In fact, it's probably the exact opposite of everything you've ever been taught about discipline. So what do you think it is? What's the real villain here? What's the one thing that secretly sabotages all of our long-term goals? I'll give you a hint. It's not procrastination. And it's not a lack of motivation. The real enemy is something far more surprising. It's rigidity. Yep, all that hyper-strict, never-miss-a-day, iron-fisted discipline that we're all taught to admire, it's a trap. It is literally designed to fail. Why? Because life is messy, it's unpredictable, and any plan that cannot bend will eventually break. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Look at this. A study on gym habits found that people with flexible schedules were way more consistent than those locked into a rigid one. They understood that showing up at 7 p.m. is infinitely better than not showing up at all because they missed their perfect 6 a.m. slot. Flexibility isn't a weakness, people. It's a superpower. So what does this mean for your plans? It's simple. You have to build in adaptability from day one.
You create what the source material here calls conditional paths. For every single goal, have a plan A, a plan B, and maybe even a plan C. A great plan isn't a straight line. It's a map with multiple routes that all lead to the same destination.
Okay, let's put all the pieces together. We've got the tools to get started, and we've got the flexible mindset to stay consistent. So now let's build a simple system that makes this whole process feel effortless, almost automatic.
You need a feedback loop. And this brilliantly illustrates the idea that planning and execution are like conjoined twins. One literally can't live without the other. This super simple check-in system lets you constantly monitor your progress, learn from what you're doing, and adapt your plan on the fly.
And this might be the most crucial piece of the entire system. You have to normalize errors. Start thinking like a programmer. When they find a bug in their code, they don't have a meltdown, they don't throw their laptop out the window. They actually get kind of excited. They see it as valuable data. They find it, they fix it, and the code gets better. You have to treat every misstep in your plan the exact same way. It is not a failure, it is feedback.
And finally, to keep that fire burning bright for the long haul, you need these 3 things. First, make the work itself satisfying. Turn it into a game, if you can. Second, create a win every single day, no matter how small, just to build that sweet, sweet momentum. And most importantly, connect your daily actions to the person you want to become. You're not just going to the gym, you are actively becoming a healthy person. When your actions reinforce who you want to be, motivation just takes care of itself.
I want to leave you with this one last thought because it really just ties everything together. A plan is just the promise of potential. It's a beautiful idea floating out there in space. But execution is the realization of value. It's where potential becomes real, tangible, and actually makes an impact. So here's my challenge to you. Stop just planning your potential. Take these tools, build your system, and go realize your value. If this helped you build a bridge over your own intention-action gap, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more. Now, go get it done.